Good morning to all the participants. On behalf of Ramco Institute of Technology, so it's my immense pleasure to welcome you for this two-day NAC-sponsored online workshop on role of NAC in enhancing quality in higher education institution. Day 2. Um, I invite Dr. E. Anushya Madam.
Thank you, sir.
Shall we start the session formally?
Yes, sir.
Please proceed.
Good morning to all. On behalf of management of IIT, it is my immense pleasure to welcome our today's guest, Dr. Qurshid Begum, and participants for today's session. Now, I introduced our guest, Dr. Qurshid Begum. Dr. Qurshid Begum, working as an assistant professor in St. Joseph College, Tiruchirappalli from 2004 onwards, and she is an additional dean of IQAC of St. Joseph College from 2019 onwards. She has published more than 10 research articles in reputed journals. She completed a minor research project funded by UGC on African American drama in August 2012, titled Complexity of Interactions Among Race, Family, Sexuality, Class, and Culture in the Select Place of Susan Lowry Parks. She contributed as an additional dean and make St. Joseph College identified as a mentor institution by UGC under the scheme of PARMARS, mentoring 6 non-accredited higher educational institutions. And she acted as a resource person in the one-day workshop on mentoring NAC aspirant institutions to promote quality assurance in higher education under the scheme of PARMARS. And she introduced LOCF-based syllabus with attainment for all the program. And she established Josted learning management systems. And she also established the Research Development Center and Startup Center and Documentation Center in the college. And she has organized many workshops, webinars, faculty development programs, and outcome-based educations, and A by NAC, etc. Thank you, ma'am. Now I hand over the session to our guest, Dr. Qurshid Begum.
Thank you, Professor.
Okay, ma'am.
Am I on?
Okay. Thank you, ma'am.
Yes, madam.
Yeah, fine. So I would like to first of all congratulate Ramco Institute of Technology, Rajapalayam, for their wonderful efforts to organize a workshop, especially a NAC funded workshop, sponsored workshop. Okay, and I think it takes a lot of planning and a lot of people coming together, organizing stuff and things. So I'm very happy and congratulations. And this workshop is titled "Role of NAC in Enhancing Quality in Higher Education Institutions." And I'm happy to be a part of it. My wishes and greetings to all the administrators and members of the management of the college and also the organizers of the program to bring in this aspect called quality assurance and stuff. So that is the focus of most of our conferences and discussions and workshops. And here I'm going to talk about internal quality assurance system and in HEIs. Okay. IQAC, I would say, is a part of this internal quality assurance system. And we all know that India has, a very big educational network, and there are more than 40,000 colleges in India, and we have, a lot of universities and self-standing institutions and stuff. But then when you look at the data, I think can move on to the next slide. Yeah, so the total number of HEIs is a kind of a big number, astounding kind of a number, and we have crores and crores of students. Really 4 crores of students. In 2021, ISHE report says it's 3.85 crores students were enrolled in all these higher educational institutions in India. But then when we look at the number of institutions that had gone for accreditation or NARF ranking, or NBA, like it's a very disappointing figure. Okay, So in 2022 NARF, like there are only 7,254 colleges that have participated out of, like all these 45,000 or 1,000 plus, like, it's a vast difference. You have a lot of institutions that still stay behind, not willing to enter into this mainstream called accreditation or ranking, or they are either they're so confident that they do not want to enter into it, or they are not that very confident, that they don't want to enter into this thing. So it's a kind of a very I should say, a different kind of a scenario of differences, where you have institutions like IITs and IIMs, NITs, and you have like universities and public funded universities, private funded universities, and autonomous colleges that go with this A plus plus brand, A plus brand. And there are some colleges like who have not even entered accreditation and ranking. So this is the scenario in which we all live in. Okay. And so what are we going to do about this? So that is the biggest question. Aisha says, like, in 2000, in its 2021 report, okay, the gross enrollment ratio has improved compared to the previous thing, but then there was only 0.8 percentage of improvement in that. So it was 26.3, and then from that in 2020 it has gone to 27.1. So I hope you understand. Growth is also very slow, and we have a lot of rural areas in India, and take Tamil Nadu in particular. We have a lot of rural areas. It's very difficult for us. Like we visit different colleges in all the cities and rural areas. And when we visit the colleges in rural areas, the biggest concern is they say, like, it's very difficult for us to bring the students in, and even if you bring the students in, it is difficult for us to make them stay in the college. And even if you manage to make them stay in the college, it's difficult for us to motivate them to take one step ahead, either go for higher education, as a kind of progression, or to placement, because they get married. And girl students get married immediately after completing their undergraduation, and male students, they do not want to continue their post graduation, and then they just go start a business or do some work. Or some students are employed, even in small shops like bangle shops, and so it's very disheartening, right? So in this context, we are talking, the colleges organized a workshop of this nature, and with a lot of participants from different parts of the country. And I think it's a high time we all come together and think about the relevance of having a very well established and a very well functioning internal quality assurance system in all our educational institutions. Okay, so could you please change the slide? Yeah. So why higher education? So what is the reason? We have the school education that gives you a lot of knowledge, a lot of information, and with the standard 12, like, is there not a possibility for us to stop education and go to different fields of study, or like even drop out of institutions? And why can't we go start our own business, or why can't we go get employed somewhere? So it is believed, and it is also happening. The most important thing that we choose higher education is for our own personal development. Students select first higher education institutions for their personal development. Of course, that is the first driving motive. And then they also want to have a specialization in their career. So if I'm going to take up English literature, pursue my postgraduate degree, and then my MPhil or doctoral degree, I'm going to be a professor. Okay, if I opt for MA and then BEd, I'm going to be a teacher. Okay, so that's a teacher. You're going to teach English in a school or teach English literature in a college. So it kind of, or if you're going to opt for MSc or physics and maybe a PhD and research in physics, you're going to be a scientist, or you're going to be a professor or a teacher. So we always think about specialization, when we think about higher education. And another thing is, like, we become employable. Okay, the students become employable, and more importantly, we think that after getting educated, the students are going to get a higher pay. That is one more thing. So and they also, the students also believe that they can socialize, they can create a network. Like imagine a class of 60 students or 50 students in a class. It's a kind of a beautiful network, and these students go to different departments, other departments, other schools for their interdepartmental courses or inter-school courses. So naturally, there's a beautiful networking developed, and the college also provides them a lot of opportunities, for cultural activities, sports activities, and other club activities. So it's a beautiful networking that is created, and all the students are part of this network, which is going to help them in the long run. Okay, so this is as far as the personal development of the students is concerned. And when you look into the social, concern, it develops equality and empowerment. So it's not only the privileged lot that is going to enter into educational institutions, not only the privileged sex that is going to enter into educational field. It is not only the privileged socio-economic groups that are going to get into education in the field. Rather, like people from the downtrodden societies, economically marginalized, socially marginalized, okay, and gender-wise marginalized people, like all people coming together and getting a platform, gaining a platform for themselves, okay, to be somebody, okay, to achieve something. So that is one thing. And you also have a social and environmental responsibility. We believe that educated students, like, we always get this question, like, aren't you educated? Okay, I mean, that is a big question that all these students face. So what does it mean when you complete your undergraduation or post graduation, or like any graduation for that matter? You people think or that you are socially responsible, you are environmentally conscious. Okay, so we develop that qualities. That's a role of the educational institutions, to develop such qualities in them. And most importantly, it makes the students better citizens. So there's this concept called nation building, right? People repeatedly talk about, and NAC repeatedly talks about this concept of nation building. So all the higher education institutions, by teaching their students, okay, kind of help in the nation building process by transforming students who come into their fold into better citizens. So this is the reason why, and there are a lot of other reasons. I'm just focusing on a very few ideas. Okay, these are the most relevant, most important reasons why students opt for higher education, and why we should, offer higher education to students. Could you please change the slides? Okay, now we talk about quality, because our topic is, in quality improvement in higher education institutions, internal quality assurance system. And, we need to understand what quality is. So I find, there are a lot of definitions, there are a lot of interpretations of quality, all big minds, great scholars, academicians, all these big people writing about quality. So I just found this quotation from the internet very simple, very fulfilling. Okay, so just somehow, when I was browsing through the internet, I came across this quotation, and I just like this quotation very much. Quality is fundamentally relational. So it's not like it's not an absolute concept. It's not like it does not stand alone, right? Quality is always relational. So where you say, like, this college has a better quality than this college, okay, there's no ideal quality. Okay, you cannot say this is the quality. Okay, there's always scope for quality enhancement, improvement. Okay, so that's it. When you think you had reached the highest a possible limit for attaining quality, another opportunity emerges, and there is always a movement, upward movement towards that benchmark of quality. So it's always relational. And there's one more thing: the ongoing process of building and sustaining relationships by assessing, anticipating, and fulfilling stated and implied needs. So it is, this talks about relationships, right? We are always worried about facts, figures, numbers, data. Okay, so when we think about quality, these ideas come to mind. Like, we don't think about relationships. Okay, we don't. So this relationship is not only talking about people, but this relationship also talks about the connection between things, the connection between needs. But then you need to assess, and you need to anticipate, and by doing this, what is going to happen is fulfilling stated and implied needs. So there are some needs you cannot say this institution is completely, self-sustained. It has everything. Like there's not even a single thing that this institution does not have. So no institution can say that. You always want more. Like I hope many of you would have been familiar with this concept called "I want more." On Charles Dickens's novel Oliver Twist, you have this concept, "I want more." So that is human being. The pain of or the pleasure of being a human being. You always want more, right? So there are certain needs, okay, and some needs are stated. Okay, say for example, you need to appoint teachers. Okay, that is a stated need. Okay, but there's also an implied need that it is not openly said. Okay, but with the appointment of the teacher, with the recruitment of a teacher, there are a lot of other needs that have to be fulfilled. So quality comes here. It plays a very important role. So it's an ongoing process. The process never ends, right? So when we say like when you have a quality assurance system or a quality assurance cell, internal quality assurance cell, you cannot say I have attained the highest possible limits of quality. Definitely no. Okay, because that's why this quotation says it's an ongoing process. It's gonna continue forever and ever. If you're going, maybe our institution is 178-year-old institution, and maybe your institution is a 150-year-old institution. Maybe yours is 200-year-old, but nevertheless, okay, your institution is going to keep on building quality, keeping it. So it's a culture, it's a kind of an ethos. Okay, it's an ambience, it's an environment. Okay, which keeps on being nourished, which keeps on requiring nourishment. Okay, and it feeds and it gets fed. Okay, so that's it. And the ongoing process of building and sustaining relationships by assessing, anticipating, and fulfilling stated and implied needs. So that is a very one of the simplest ways in which you can talk about quality. Okay, next slide please. Fine. So when we talk about this internal quality assurance system, what does it mean? So this word may appear, this term may appear big, this may appear like to some new, or to some it's familiar. Then what does it mean? So it's a kind of, as I told you, it's a whole ethos in an educational institution. Okay, so it's not just IQAC. As I told you, IQAC is a part of this system. The most important thing is, you have an organogram, like all the colleges, all the institutions, especially those institutions that aspire to appear for NAT. Like there's a question that demands you to present your organogram. Where like who is there, like who is at the top of the administration, and who is there at the second level of administration or management, and then the third level, the fourth level, and then you have the HODs and like there's a staff members and students coming to them. So it's a kind of an organizational structure. Okay, so the whole of the organizational structure will be involved in creating this system. And I know that I have used two words, administration and management. Do you think there's any difference between administration and management? Could maybe one of the participants, do you think they're both the same, or could you please respond on the chat box? Whether, just say if they are one and the same, like just type the letter yes, or if you think they are different, could you please type the letter N? If administration and management are same, just type out the letter yes. Yeah, okay, I've said. Okay, this yes and no and no and yeah, fine. So yeah, fine. No, and fine. Okay, so many of you say they are not the same. Okay, administration is different from management. Okay, thank you, Ms. Anushya. There are a lot of people that respond. Thank you, and administration is at the topmost. It's a kind of a creamy kind of a presence. Okay, administration. Yeah, the role of administration is to plan or to strategize, okay, or to give you rules and regulations, to give you guidance. Okay, but then who is going to implement, the guidelines or the rules and regulations given by the administration is the management. Okay, so administration need not be a part of the implementation process, whereas management is a part and parcel. It's the bounding duty of the management to implement whatever has been advocated by the administration. Okay, say for example, we have a college that is run by the Jesuits. Okay, there are a lot of Jesuit priests sitting at the top. Okay, so they belong to the administration, whereas like we people like the deans or the IQAC or the HODs, like even if you're not going to include the HODs over there. Okay, the deans and the vice principals, we have some 5 vice principals and 7 deans, and these people belong to the management. Okay, so whenever, of course, sometimes the lines are blurred. Sometimes we do not know whether we are part of administration or whether we are part of management. That is why there was a response that states yes. Okay, so there's always this confusion. Our internal quality assurance system demands a clear-cut definition. Who belongs to administration, who belongs to management. In most of the colleges, most of the educational institutions in India, there is no clear-cut definition or a clear-cut role presented to the members, those members who belong to this particular area. We do not know whether we belong to the management or whether we belong to administration. So that is one thing. But both administration and management belong to internal quality assurance system. And another important set of this is IQAC, that is the internal quality assurance cell of the institution of a college or a university or any HEI. And you have also the other stakeholders, though they are not going to directly participate in planning, or like, of course there will be a minimum contribution by these people, but their presence, their participation in the processes of the higher education institution matters a lot. Okay, so in that way they contribute on a greater level, okay, on towards the successful presence of this internal quality assurance system. And all our resources, okay, material resources, financial resources, non-financial resources, human resources, it can be anything. Okay, so all these technological resources for that matter, and all these resources form part of the internal quality assurance system. So what does it mean? What of course all these things belong to this, and what is being done? The strategies, policies and procedures that ensure quality management, not only quality management, quality assurance, quality enhancement, quality sustenance. Okay, so it's not if you assure quality, it's not enough. You have to keep on sustaining that quality. Sustenance is not enough. You have to keep on enhancing the quality. That's why I said, quality is a never-ending process. Okay, so you have to keep on enhancing, quality. So you have to keep on strategizing. Okay, so you attain A++. Okay, you work for NAC. You work towards NAC accreditation. One fine day, like the result is announced, and you become a A++ college with 3.78. What are you going to do next? Are we happy? You're going to be happy? Will you say like, I'm part of this institution that has an A++, and our work is done, our job is done? There's a professor in our college who said like he struggled a lot to complete his PhD Viva examination, and so it was some 10 years, and he got it eventually. And then like what he said, I'm going to stop reading. Okay, so he was so frustrated. He was so, and he thought like that is the culmination. Like it's over. Like you have got the highest degree possible, and you've received it, and there's no necessity for you to read anymore. Like you can be relaxed. So are we going to do that? Are we going to say that with this attainment, with this attaining A++, are we going to stop working on quality? Definitely no. So you have to continuously evolve strategies to improve the quality, go to the next level, and you have to keep on creating policies, even with A++ or without A++. Even people who had gone for accreditation, people who had not gone for accreditation, you have to create policies, the major policies for any education institution, and also the procedures. Okay, so based on the strategies, policies will be formed. Based on the policies, procedures will be worked out, and these strategies, policies and procedures help towards ensuring quality, sustenance, enhancement, management, maintenance, whatever, enhancement in higher educational institutions. I hope you have got a rough idea of what the IQAS is all about. Okay. Okay, next slide, please. Right. Um, so, what are the most important functions of the internal quality assurance system? It's quality management. Okay, how does how is quality managed? By planning first, okay, and then assurance by quality planning. Planning in the sense quality planning, planning for quality, and then after this planning, you find there's an execution done, implementation done, and you find quality is assured. Okay, so you find a program that is performing very low. Okay, and you kind of sit together and strategize, and you say like these measures ought to be taken to improve this program. Okay, and you implement all these measures, and what happens, you find there's a positive result and everything is good, and the quality of this program had gone up. Okay, risen really good. So there's quality assurance, but then I gotta let go of it again. No, you need to have quality control. Okay, so you're not going to allow this program to step down again. Okay, so it's not going to reduce its quality anymore. So there'll be always quality control measures that you will take. And then what happens is you always go for a review, and you find that there's always scope for improvement. So that is not the end in itself. Okay, so there is quality improvement. So these are the steps that every educational institution is to engage in, okay, in order to have a very successful IQAS. So what are the first things that you're supposed to do? First, if you want to know what our institution is like, okay, it can be IQAC, or it can be the management itself. The first thing that you have to do is we have to analyze where we are, what we're doing. You can be a A++ institution, or it can be a A+ institution, or it can be an institution that has not even gone for accreditation. That's not a problem. You have to know where you stand. Okay, how are we going to do that? You can engage in feedback. Okay, by feedback, it's not just haphazard kind of a thing that you get from all your stakeholders. Very, very systematically drafted and devised feedback. Okay, and audits. You can go for internal audits, and you can also go for external audits, and you can also go in for survey. Feedback itself is like a survey, but other than feedback, you can also go for other surveys, asking for opinions and stuff. Okay, in other ways. Okay, so first you analyze, and then you understand where you are, and then you have to arrive at quality policies. So there are a lot of areas, lots of walks, a lot of arenas of higher education in which you can derive policies. For each and every endeavor of the college, you can create a policy. Okay, policy document speaks a lot, because that is a standing evidence. It's there, okay, to give you the rules and regulations and guidelines. This is what a member is supposed to do. This is not what a member is supposed to do, and this is what is considered to be the right way of functioning, and this is not considered the right way of functioning. So these rules and guidelines are given only by quality policies, and then you have to opt for planning and management. So based on the policies, you need to plan as to how you're going to implement these policies, how you're going to manage the implementation. And along with that, you have to arrive at a lot of important decisions. So any administration is successful when it has the right persons to make its decisions. Okay, so decision making, again, after everything is done at this level, you are going to implement. So there are two levels of implementation. Even after the policies arrived at, you kind of implement it on a micro level. It's not implementation per se, but then you are taking it to the next set of people, and then the real implementation takes place only when the idea reaches the people, and when they start doing it, maybe the professors or the students, or the people in your extension villages. So that is where, and then is your job over there. You keep on monitoring it, the way or the ways in which this idea gets implemented, this opinion gets implemented, this action gets implemented. So there are a lot of things, and the monitoring is done. And after you monitor, things go on, and you go in for an evaluation or a review or audits. Again, as I said, for each and everything you can go in for an audit. Okay, so the term may be too technical, but then audit, we do it. It's not like only after NAC or only after NARF, we engage in audits. We have been doing audits, we have been conducting audits, we have been getting the opinions of people, but then we are systematizing it. That's it. We are quantifying it. We are also qualifying it with the presence of NAC. We systematically, we say like this is how systematic we are in our audit. So it does not mean like before accreditation, no educational institution was good, no educational institution was good or striving towards quality. Definitely no, we have done a lot. But then with the advent of NAC, with the advent of accreditation, we are capable of quantifying it and tell people, these are the numbers. Okay, these many audits we have conducted, and this is the quality of our audit, this is the quality of our institution. So we are able to qualify and we are able to quantify. Like wherever I go, I just say this, because people think there are always negative criticisms about NAC, there are always negative criticisms about rankings. People say like as if nothing had been done earlier. Only after NAC came into existence, like things are going on. Like why do educational institutions project themselves in such a way? It's not definitely projecting. It's not like it is kind of very, very confidently, with numbers, with facts, and with figures, you're able to spell out like these are the numbers of works that are done. These are the numbers of times that the work got repeated. So that is it. And you also are able to like spell out or define and describe in detail the quality of the work that is done. So everything is done, and what happens? Will it be done in 100% perfect way? At times, okay, most of the times, like maybe 95% of perfection, 90 or 85. Sometimes we find like we have accomplished it only to 40%, not more than 40%. So what do? You engage in corrective measures. Okay, you go to that next level, and with the corrective measures, you go in for improvement. Okay, and then everything is good. Like we started our LMS, okay, learning management system. We started training our staff members to create courses. It's a big process. Okay, making them first of all design their a course. It's not like working on their course. Okay, they have to spell out like for how many hours, how many modules, how many, these modules, how many sub units, who's going to handle this unit, who's going to present videos, whether it's a video or whether it is a material or whether it is a a live presentation, all such stuff. Okay, and we tried and we kind of completed 30 courses on the LMS, and we started conducting examinations, tests, and stuff. But then there's all we keep on revising it, we keep on working on it, and we think like this is not enough, this is not up to the quality, and we have to go in for improvement. So that is how we keep on improving. And then with that improvement, you think that there is always a possibility of innovations in what you did. Okay, on LMS, whatever you're doing is not enough. Like there's a possibility, and one fine day it dawns on us that there is this one innovative thing that you can explore. Like maybe you can offer an FDP for all the staff members of the college, maybe with in association with the MHRD or the MOE, I mean Ministry of Education. So there's always innovations possible. There's always opportunities that are there waiting for us at the corner of this road or somewhere. So these are the ways in which you have to work on a quality. Next slide, please. Okay, so to aim at quality, to arrive at quality, to arrive at a definition of quality, to understand our quality, after understanding our quality, okay, you need to do something. So that is benchmarking. I think it's a very popular buzzword. It's a buzzword now. There are certain words with in the last 10 years or so, we have been listening to a lot of words, like innovation, incubation, startups, innovation ecosystem, and benchmarking is yet another word that we keep on hearing here and there in all the conferences, meetings, and seminars. Goodness. So what is benchmarking? This is too technical a definition, but then let's try to understand it. Technique of governance, okay, when it comes to public services, designed to improve the quality and efficiency of public services. So why do you opt for benchmarking? Why do you go for or desire for benchmarking? You want to improve your quality of your service. Of course, I hope education is still a service. Okay, fine. And the efficiency of your service. Okay, if you run a college, for the economically marginalized people, like our motto of running the colleges. Of course, we have this good and the true concept and all, but then marginalized, for the marginalized people, for the first generation learners. Okay, that is how we have an admission policy. So what happens is, there's a service that we offer to the institute, to the society, to the public, but then we need to improve the quality of the service that we offer, and we also need to improve the efficiency of the service that we offer. So we need benchmarking. So what does benchmarking involve? It involves comparing specific aspects of a public problem with an ideal form of public action. So there's a problem, and this is with relevance to public governance. So let's delete these words public. Your institution has a problem, and there is a kind of an action or a solution over there. Okay, somewhere where, like, maybe St. Joseph's College has a problem, maybe Binata House has a solution. Okay, so what do? Like, we take this problem, try to analyze it from the perspective of the solution that we have from Miranda House, and then acting to make the two converge. Okay, so by setting that as a standard, we are trying to solve this issue, and we are going to take that to that level of presence. By making comparisons in this way, public administration, educational administration, is supposed to improve through processes of learning and emulation. I hope you get that idea. So educational administration is supposed to improve how? By making comparisons. Say, for example, there's a small mentee institution that we have, and the members of the mentee institution say, like, we kind of look up to you as a role model. Like, we read your SSR, we read your AQAs, and we kind of try to implement all these things. So fine, that's the best way, but it should not be just aping in the sense, it should not be just imitating. Okay, this if you're going to imitate a college, it is not benchmarking. Okay, you have to imbibe the values that are found in that particular institution. You have to internalize those things into the regular functioning of their institution. You have to do it in such a way that it becomes a part of your quality culture. Okay, so say, for example, we have only 200 publications per academic year. Okay, maybe I'm sorry, it's not academic year, right? So publications are only 200. What are we going to do? You have another institution that has 500 publications per year. So you study their system. Okay, you have that institution B as the institution, and that is going to be as a benchmark. And we study how the process is being done there. What are the procedures that they engage in order to motivate their staff members, also their PhD scholars, to bring about 500 publications per year. Okay, so understanding all these things, apply that in your institution, internalize it, make all the staff members understand what is being done there, make all the students understand what is being done there, and make them engage in the activity 1 semester, 2 semesters, 3 semesters, 4 semesters, and it becomes a part of their quality culture. Okay, so it is not just imitating. So you have here, so these things are reference points. Okay, reference points. So benchmark is there is this public action, for ideal form of public action, right? That is the reference point. There is this 500 publication institution, okay, which is the reference point for an institution that has only 200 publications per year. So you are going to understand. So what are you going to do? You are going to engage in strategies for internalizing these procedures that are practiced, followed in that institution. And you have to ensure, you have to make sure that you are not going to imitate that institution in any way. Okay. So emulation is different from, a mere imitating. Okay. So it's a process of learning. It's a process of growth. It's a process of development, enhancing the quality, having that particular institution as a reference point. You don't have to have an institution at all, as a reference point. You can have an idea, you can have a concept, okay, you can have a goal, okay, as your reference point, and you can work towards that. Okay. Am I clear? Am I able to reach you? Yes. The problem with these online presentation is like, we keep on talking, and thank you, Ms. Anushya, for that instant response, Mr. Shivakumar and Mr. Krishnan. Thank you. So yeah, Ms. Lakshmi, everybody. Yeah. So that is benchmarking, right? Having somebody, some institution, or some value, or some idea, some notion as your, reference point, and working towards it. This year I have gone for 500 publications. The institution has got 500 publications. What is going to be your next benchmark? Is it going to be the same? Okay, well, last year it was 500, this year is 500, like next year it'll be 500. Am I okay with it? No. When there is a possibility, because more and more students come, like, last year it is 7,000 people coming in, and then it will be 7,200, and PhD scholars, like last time it was 34 people who were registered, now it is 60 people registering for PhD. So when things change, there's always a possibility of publication, numbers of publication getting improved, right? So in that way, you are not going to be happy with the attainment, with the achievement of one notion. You're always going to change your benchmarks once you've attained the goal. Okay. So you've attained 500 publications, and then you're going to take another benchmark set, another reference point, which is going to be 600 publications per year. So that is how you grow. Okay. Next slide, please. Okay. So the big questions, I've given you only a few questions. There are a lot more questions involved. So we always go for need analysis, right? Maybe you want to start a program, or you want to buy, improve your infrastructure. So you say, like, you have 1,500 computers in your college, and there are maybe some 3,000 students, and you want to think about the student computer ratio and stuff. There are a lot of things, okay, and you're not happy about this ratio, and you want to increase the thing, or maybe you want to increase the bandwidth of the institution, and you have 3,000 students, and the bandwidth is low, and you want to improve. So first is, what are you going to do? What do you want? What is your requirement? And why do you want that? Okay, why do you really want to bring in that change? And for who you're going to do that? Okay, who are the beneficiaries? Are these the students, or the staff members, or both? Or like, is it a non-teaching staff, or is the people who are at the other levels of working, the service workers? For whom? Okay, who is going to implement it? For whom it's going to be implemented? Who is going to work on it? For whom they are going to work? Okay, how are they going to do it? Okay, how many do you really need? How much do you need? So there are certain things that can be quantified and say, like, how many. Some can be like only said how much. Okay, so when are you going to do that? You have to set a target, right? Maybe before the next academic year. Before next academic year is a very general statement. When you say, like, I'll do that next academic year, you're not going to do that. Okay, we have to fix the target. Say in 2023 November. Okay, in 2023 April, I'm going to do that. Like, where? Okay, where are you going to fix it? Maybe you're going to we have a plan of getting separate server for our LMS. So it's going to cost 10 lakhs. What are you going to do? Okay, what do you want? It's a server for 10 lakhs. And why do I want it? Because, like, not there are concurrent users, right? Not too many concurrent users are able to use it. Okay, who is going to engage in this activity? For whom? Is it for the students taking up the courses on LMS, or is it this for the staff members who are going to upload courses? How much? How many When are you going to do that? Where are you going to place that server? Is it with the ERP? No, is it with the college? Like we already have, we have an ERP, right? Are we going to keep it under the control, or is it going to be with the LMS team? So under relation to point of reference. So there's one particular institution that has a well-established LMS with no hitches at all. Okay, there are 2,000 concurrent users and everything goes on good. There are 3,000 concurrent users, everything goes on good. So that institution becomes a point of a reference, and with relation to them, like how are these questions answered? Okay, so these are the big questions. Like I've spelled out, as I told you, these are only a very few questions. Okay, when you have to really plan out something, when you have to strategize something, you need to ask a lot of questions, and you need to arrive at answers for all these questions, and that makes a perfect and complete neat analysis. Okay, next slide, please. Okay, what time do I stop? Organizers, could you please let me know what time do I stop?
Madam, up to 11:15, madam.
11:15. Yeah, fine. It's gonna be 11. Yeah.
Yeah.
Slide, please. What was the previous slide? Could you please get back to the previous slide? Yeah, the next slide then. Thank you. Next slide. Fine. Okay. Now, when you have this idea of IQAS, okay, the most important notion that you need to deal with is policies, creation of policies. So quality management, what is quality management? It's rules defined by a set of policies, documented procedures and processes. Okay, that is a quality management. And there are some major policies that any institution should have. And there are also some other, no, I cannot say minor policies, but in regulatory policies, in alignment with the major policies, you have your other regulatory policies. All your policies are connected. We all know that. Okay, I think this is a kind of a redundant idea when you say all your major policies should be aligned with the vision and mission statement of your institution. So that's how you opt for things, right? Whenever you do something, you do it in alignment with the vision and mission statement of your institution. So the most important policy is a promotion of research policy. That's one thing that all the institutions need. Okay, and IT policy. IT a few years back, there's no such thing as ICT. There's no such thing as IT infrastructure. There is no such thing as IT budget. Okay, but now we are talking about IT policy, right? IT policy, and then you have a lot of resources, including infrastructure, right? So management, maintenance of and the infrastructure, and also utilization. Okay, maintenance and utilization of infrastructure. So you need a policy for that, and you need a few policies for zero tolerance. Okay, it's a UGC mandate. There are certain things like ICC, or you have this anti-sexual harassment committee, anti-ragging committee and stuff. So these are all essential committees, and and there is also a committee needed for addressing the grievance of students, student grievance redressal committee. Okay, so these committees, the policies or major policies as far as an institution is concerned, and appointment rules and service rules of any institution, that is another major policy. And green campus initiatives, like how are you going to maintain your campus green? What are the facilities that you're going to bring in? What are the what should I say, audits that you're going to engage in? And that is very important. And another policy is funds. Okay, how you mobilize funds, how you go in for the optimal utilization of funds. All these questions are part of your NAC manual. Okay, but then based on these manual, you're not going to write policies for the sake of NAC alone. Okay, you have these things inside your campus, and in order to have a very successful implementation of all these ideas, you need a policy that will give you guidelines. Okay, that will give all the stakeholders essential guidelines as to how these functions are going to be spread out. Okay, so that is one thing, and you can use the same for a NAC accreditation. Okay, there are other regulatory policies. The first being admission policy. Okay, and you need a scholarship policy because you cannot give away all your money for students who don't deserve it, or like you're not going to spend it on students who really don't need it. Okay, so you identify certain areas whether the student whether it's going to be a merit scholarship, the student is really good, excellent, and you're going to give him the scholarship, or he's not that very academically sound, but then he comes from a very poor background, or he's an orphan, or he has a single parent and other stuff. Okay, so there are these students are part of the success stories of sports and stuff. There are a lot of things. So a scholarship policy, startup policies, consultancy policy, and even this IT policy in minor things. ERP document. Okay, so IT policy in the sense ERP document, like the different components of your ERP, and which is the right way to use it, which is the wrong way to use it, which is of course a part of the IT policy, but then you cannot spell out all the things in a policy, in a IT policy. So you need to prepare an ERP document, and you also need to have a policy on e-content development facilities, how people make use of the facilities, and all the copyright things that are associated with the e-content development center and development process, and code of conduct. That's yet another important thing, and disabled friendliness of the institution, that can also opt for a policy. So all these policies are what is the role of these policies towards the internal quality assurance, a system, okay, establishing a quality assurance system of the institution. So policies play a very important role. Next slide, please. Okay, and another important thing is feedback. So normally there are some institutions I've seen like that take feedback in a very serious way. But then there are a lot of institutions that we look into, like us, faculty members, we all have this experience of, getting to know about the feedback patterns of other institutions. So sometimes it's like just a Google form that asks for a few questions, that's it. And or maybe a sheet that is given to the students, they just tick or mark and then sign, or sometimes, they don't reveal their names, and, it's collected and maintained as files and files and files of paper. Okay, so nothing is done about these feedback. Like they just want to show that, they just want to show any external agency or internal agency that the work is done, the feedback is received. Okay, that is not feedback is about. Like the earlier set of people who were working for NAC in our institution, we too had just one feedback system, but then for towards in the last accreditation period, like in those 7 years, we evolved a lot of feedback systems. Now we have, we all have this curriculum feedback on curriculum, from the students, from the faculty, from the parents, from the employers, from the industry. Okay, you get it. And on the faculty, like all the students presenting their feedback on the faculty, and the heads of the departments, or the coordinators of the department feedback on faculty, and the administrators presenting the management, not the administrators, okay, presenting their feedback on the faculty, and the self appraisal of the faculty, they present their own feedback about their own performance. And the students and faculty, they're presenting their feedback on the administrators, and we have a soft skills scores, and we receive feedback on the soft skills scores, and during the pandemic we had online classes on GCR, and we received feedback even for that, like different feedback from the undergraduate students, different feedback from the postgraduate students, and we get the employee feedback. So that's it. It should be a culture of your institution. And what are you going to do with all your feedback? First of all, designing the feedback is in itself an art. Okay, so many people coming together, or a few knowledgeable people coming together and designing each and every question, the framing of each and every question, it gives you a lot of pleasure, like interpreting the words, analyzing the words, understanding the words, bringing together different kinds of words that will give you the fullest meaning, the most complex ideas presented in very simple sentence so that the students will understand. Okay, so you have to cherish, you have to relish framing each and every question of your feedback. Okay, that's how it works, feedback design. And the feedback process, how are we going to do? Are you just going to ask the students to do it at their own pace, or are you going to take them to a computer center and make them respond? Who is going to present feedback? All the students, those students who do not come to the college, or those students only who are very attentive, I mean regular attendance? Are you going to ask the students who have got only 80% of marks to present a feedback, or even the failures, like the slow learners, to present the feedback? So everything, and how are you going to really do it? Okay, all these things. And it's the most of the institutions stop here. And then the evaluation of the feedback. So what I will, of course, not all the feedbacks can be taken very seriously. We do understand the restraints, right? There are some students like who do not care, like well, for this professor it's all 5 5 5 5, and for another professor it's all 1 1 1 1. So there's always this biased thing. But then we are always able to identify the right kind of feedback that is done, okay, by the students or by the teachers or by the employers. So if it is the right kind of feedback, like how do you evaluate the feedback? And you don't stop with evaluation, you engage in action. Okay, so what are the changes that I'm going to bring into my institution for implementing the changes that have been suggested through the feedback? That is another important idea in feedback. So feedback has a direct link, okay, towards the enhancement of quality, sustaining the quality of the internal quality assurance system. Next slide, please. Okay, now the audits, the biggest threat of every educational institution, right? And of course, any audit is a challenge, right? Any audit is, is a very sportive thing. That when you get ready for it, it's like getting ready for a wedding, right? For a grand gala celebration at home. You prepare, a lot of people come together, departments come together, discuss, and a lot of PowerPoint presentations made, and all the members of the faculty are presenting their opinions on it, and additions, deletions, more things being brought in and stuff. So internal audits every academic year see to it that the institutions have academic and administrative audits, not just internal audits but also external audits, because you think that this is the way you're supposed to promote quality in institution. But when somebody else comes from some other institution, no, this person has a different kind of a mindset. This person has a different, entirely different approach to quality, a newer, fresher perspective. And this person is able to ask you pertinent questions that will make you rethink, about whatever you have done in your institution. So external audits matter a lot. It's not like, the NAC says, NAC asks you to do it. It's not like, some other ranking agency asks you to do it. It is to develop your own institution. It's to take your institution one step ahead, using the fresher perspectives, newer perspectives that belong to this external member, that you need to conduct external audit. Okay, that is it. And audit, you can there are a subtle difference between these external audits and the next level of ranking and accreditation. Okay, so these are also in a way audits, right? They audit our performance, about our presence, about our capability as an education institution to offer a service to humanity. Fine. And then after everything is done, you go in for the next benchmarking. As I already told you, you don't stop there. Okay, you attained something, you got A plus plus, and then like if you got A, what are you going to do? You want to go for A plus, or maybe directly from A to A plus plus. Okay, and then you got A plus, you another benchmarking, like you ask for your A double plus. So personally, I don't think you have to always run behind grades. You don't have to always run behind scores. It's not like matter, like the St. Joseph's College is ranked 26th by NIRF. So it's not like you have to be 27th and you have to be 26th, you have to be 25th. It's not that. You have to do something for the sake of the institution, for the development of the staff members, for the upbringing of the students, and definitely you kind of get recognized and rankings come to that. That's it. So the major focus should be developing your institution, developing your organization, and the award, the reward is the good scores that you get for your institution through these ranking and accreditation agencies. Okay, so the next benchmarking should continue. Yeah, next slide, please. Fine. So I think this is the most important slide. Functioning of IQAS. So what are the ways in which they function? The first important thing is decentralization. Okay, of course you have all these, most of these words from the NAC manual, but then this should be part of your culture. Like you should not think like there is this question from NAC and then we'll do something. Of course, NAC aims at, even if you're not going to have that in your institution, after the NAC manual asks you to do something, you evolve it in your institution and then develop that culture. So in that way, it's a very positive thing. But even without somebody prescribing that to you, you need to have all these things in your institution. Okay, and when an accreditation agency comes to you and asks whether you have that, you should say yes, I have it. Okay, and here is the data, I have it, and then give your grades to us. That should be the role of the internal quality assurance system. Okay, decentralization and participative management is very, very essential. It's not like one administrator sitting over there at the top, because no individual can know everything. Okay, you cannot say like the chairman or somebody of the college knows everything about higher education, everything about the requirement of the students or the staff or anything for that matter. So it should be decentralized. Like everybody, you have different rungs, right? Different layers, and people from different layers being allowed to participate in decision making processes and framing rules, regulations, strategies and stuff. And another important thing is mobilization and utilization of funds. Maybe if there was time enough, I would have spoken about all these things in an elaborate way, like as to how big institutions, how great institutions do all these things, or maybe like whatever we do, as a not that very big institution, but with our experience, like what with the humble little experience that we have, whatever we are engaging in. But then it's already yeah 11 I think. I'll try to finish it off in a few minutes. And curriculum development and TLE practices. So a very, very important concept. We have OBE, we have me in the sense I'm not talking about St. Joseph's. I'm talking about the teaching fraternity, the higher education institutions as a community. We have a lot to do. Many of us follow OBE just for the sake of doing it. LOCA for it's for understanding whether the students have grasped all these 6 K levels. Okay, whether from understanding whether the student has started creating on his own. Okay, so it's not only analyzing the course, it's not only getting the outcome of the course, rather getting the outcome of each and every student in each and every course. Okay, the performance, the skills, the attitude, the knowledge that he had developed. Okay, so in that way, these forms of new approaches to curriculum are very, very useful. And there are a lot of PLE practices, blended or flipped classrooms or regular face-to-face teaching experiences, taking up online courses, you offering online courses to students in your campus and also outside your campus, asking them to take MOOC courses, Google certification courses. Google certification courses are given free of cost, like because if you opt for SWAYAM or like sometimes Coursera, like you're charged, right? There are certain areas in which all these 150-hour courses, 200-hour courses are given free of cost to the students. So everything, because you need to always have this academic bank of credits, right, ready. These credits to be ready to be saved in ABC. So ask your students to gain a lot of credits. And faculty development. Faculty development is a very, very important area in the functioning of IQAS. Starting from the recruitment of this faculty, from allowing them to attend the faculty development programs, organizing faculty development programs for them, you know, allowing them to pursue research, allowing them to publish papers, encouraging them to publish papers, giving them incentives, do something, get us research articles, develop yourself and also develop the institution. That should be the spirit of the institution. Student support institution, mechanisms. You can support a students in so many ways. You can support them financially. You can give them opportunities for entrepreneurship, give them opportunities for startups, give them opportunities, for internships through linkages, MOUs. Research can be done through MOUs. Student support mechanisms, faculty can be supported through MOUs. Student exchange programs. There are a lot that you can think about in this area. ICT support, like in these days, okay, an institution cannot survive. An IQAS cannot be complete without a fully packed and with a backup support of the ICT team. So for anything, for your online components, for your we conduct even some semester examinations in online mode for a few papers. Okay, we offer all our self-paced courses through the LMS of the college. The curriculum, when it comes to point number 3, it's not what the university gives you. It's not like what the autonomous college has designed for itself. We have a self-paced course that is a credit course. It's a 2-credit course, and a student has to get a passing minimum in order to get a degree. The course is done by the student by himself, or by herself. The syllabus is given by the staff members. If the students need, okay, the material is also posted on the LMS, but then the students should, it's not taught, okay. The students should learn things by themselves, and they have to appear. So it's a kind of an innovation in a curriculum, research, extension, also documentation, extension. We all know, okay, the importance. It's not like limiting ourselves to our own institution. From a lab to land. Whatever you learn in your labs, learn in your classrooms, take that to the land, take that to the people, empower people, make them grow. Okay, give them as many opportunities as possible. Okay, maybe a vermicomposting, a training on vermicomposting, training on mushroom cultivation, and training to self-help groups, adopted villages and stuff. Okay, so the next is documentation, which is a very important process as far as IQAS is concerned. Horizontal and vertical flow of communication, okay, and infrastructure. So the last slide, please. I'll just read it through so that you can get, okay, what is the role of IQAS in IQAS? This is a very important question, right? We're all so worried about this question. It's the most important body of the college. And the most important work of the IQAS is to communicate properly and to create a network. Okay, this network will help you in different aspects, which we do not have time to discuss. SWOT analysis through it's not only the SWOT analysis of the departments, of the units, of the institutes of excellence, centers of excellence, and of the whole college. Okay, and internal quality assurance, external quality assurance, effective use of it. There's a lot of data available. Okay, sometimes unwanted data, sometimes unwanted data. We think it is unwanted data, but then if you effectively use data, this unwanted data, the data that you think is unwanted can be made into wanted data, the most needed data. Okay, and rankings and accreditation. And as the members of IQAC, like if there are members of IQAC here, you need to think, are you stuck in routine activities? Okay, if then your IQAS is gonna fail. Okay, if there is a communication from the university that says like we want the details for this inspections and stuff, and if the letter is forwarded to the IQAC, no, that is not the work of the IQAC. Okay, it can be done by somebody else. Filling in data, sending data to here, that place to this place. That's not. IQAC should not be stuck in routine activities. It should keep on improvising. It should keep on thinking. It should keep on, strategizing. It should keep on innovating. Okay, that is the role of IQAC. So I think on that note, with spelling out the important, we maybe. If time had permitted, we could have discussed all these things in an elaborate way. Then I just want to give a feel of what, and it does not stop here. The role of IQAC does not stop here. I'm only giving you the major areas in which the IQAC can work. Okay. So the contribution of IQAC to the successful presence and performance of the IQAS. So please, for God's sake, don't get stuck in routine activities. Keep on innovating for the development of your institution, for the development of the students, for the staff members, and for getting good rankings and accreditations. I thank you all for the opportunity. Thank you, participants, for your patience in the listening, because I was just running like anything and you had the patience to listen to me. Thank you, organizers, for this wonderful opportunity. Happy to meet you all.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am, for your valuable information. So we gain knowledge about what is the need of higher education, and we gave detailed difference between administration and management and the various functions of IQAC. And you clearly explain about the benchmarks with lots of examples. Madam, are you audible? I'm audible.
Yeah.
And the detailed explanation about the feedback process and auditing and the functioning of IQAS. I have only one question, ma'am. Can you give a suggestion regarding the documents that we include in ICT tools in criteria 5?
I don't get you. I know. What's
Can
the
you give
question?
can you give suggestions regarding the documents that we include in ICT tools in the criteria
ICT
5?
tools. Okay. The thing is, one is the most important policy, which is the IT policy. The Christmas carols are started in our college, and I think it will be a kind of a disturbance here. IT policy is the most important policy that you need to draft. And another is, you purchase a lot of infrastructure. You develop your IT infrastructure and all the purchase bills and stuff. And these are the things that you need to document. And one more thing, whenever there's a system that gets corrupt in a computer center, right? And you, hello? Yeah.
Madam, ICT tools, ma'am.
ICT tools, yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. Yeah, there are a lot of tools that you would get, right? One is, even for purchasing these tools and the maintenance of these tools and, utilization of these tools, you need a policy. And then, another kind of documentation is, all the purchase bills and all the service bills and stuff that you need to maintain, and all this getting reflected in the audit statement of the institution. And one more thing, what are you going to do with these systems that get corrupt? Okay, once where you cannot use it, these ICT tools, reach a point where they cannot be used. Sometimes, they can be reused, by minor service and stuff. Sometimes they cannot be used. You're going to dispose them, or you're going to donate them. Like you need to always have an MOU with, from some companies, industries, or maybe you can donate it to your villages. After a small service, if you think the system will, continue running or working, you can donate it to your rural areas, adopted villages, or you can dispose them in the right way, because this e-waste is a very big hazard to the environment. So in what right way you're disposing them, these things are to be maintained. And there's this ERP document, a very important part of IT ICT tools. The ERP document, like enterprise resource planning of each institution. And one more thing, the website maintenance is always done by this ERP team of people. So a very detailed job description of these things. And there are different kinds of portals, like maybe the admin portal or the faculty portal, the parent portal and stuff. The different components of ERP, like there are different thumbnails, different ideas, different sections of the website that is maintained by the ERP, and each should be discussed in detail in the ERP document. So this is one thing that you have to maintain. Okay, most importantly, you need to have, if it's a computer center, a center that has ICT tools, the log book is very, very important. Whether it's an e-logging system or a kind of manual logging system, you need to maintain that log. Like how many students are using the computer center, or like any other tool, or if it's an LMS, it's auto-registered. You don't have to go and save that. This particular student came over here. But then if it's a lab or other thing, like if it's a smart classroom or anything for that matter, you need to maintain a proper register. Okay, that says a logbook that says these many students have used this particular facility, this particular ICT tool. Okay, or even it can be just a projector, or it can be something minor, small, like portable stuff that people carry from here to there, to one class to another. a proper record of like whoever uses it, and the beneficiaries should be recorded. I hope I've answered your question.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
I request the participant to ask queries.
Hello, hello, madam. I'm audible. Hello, hello.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, madam. Actually, my question is this: like you have to like go for the strategic planning of an institute. So, how IQAC should go for that?
Could you please, or the organizers, could you please spell that question to me again? Like, there's a lot of
Madam,
mouse over here. They told me.
it is posted in chat box. ma'am.
Chat box. Yeah, yeah.
How to
Yeah,
do
yeah.
start?
There are a lot of questions.
Madam,
Yeah, please read out the question. I'm not able to find that.
yes, ma'am. How to do strategic planning of an institute by IQAC?
Why?
How to do
Huh.
strategic planning of an institute by IQAC?
Okay, so it's a strategic planning in the sense it is not, planning for everything at the time, okay, at a particular time, at one time. So you identify different areas, okay. So you identify an area like ICT, and you say like, where do you stand? As I've already told you, right, when you're going to bring in a new intervention, there was a separate slide for that, okay. When you want to update your ICT functioning, you say like, I have this, I've got this much of bandwidth, I've got that, and I provide free Wi-Fi to all my students, to all the faculty, like I give them 2 GB per day, and if this is free, that is free, and LMS is free, and everything is free, and what can I give free of cost the next time, or like what are the other facilities that I can give them? What is that one facility that will add more weightage credit to whatever we have been doing under this ICT? So you think about it, and you refer to other institutions, or you talk to experts, you draw an idea, and if you find out that this is the right way to go ahead, and this is the one thing that you're going to introduce, as we thought, like it's LMS that we're supposed to do, because I know even in the previous NAC thing, we had a kind of an LMS, but we were not happy about that LMS, right? We thought like a completely full-fledged LMS of our own institution, and we have indigenously done it. Of course, it's on the Moodle platform, but then we have not gone for outsourcing. Other people are not managing it. Our LMS is not being managed by a third party. We do it. Okay, we as a team, we have an LMS team here. Those people do everything. Okay, designing courses, introducing courses, adding students, everything. We have an admin for that, and so that's it. You first think about it. The idea comes from one person, definitely, or sometimes it comes from different people, and that is why I said decentralized management, participative management. You bring in a lot of people, like it's not just the principal, or it's not the secretary or the correspondent deciding that. There is a group of deans that can come together, or specialized people in ICT who can come, and they can sit and brainstorm and explore. And once you understand that, going for indigenously developed LMS is the best way to proceed in this direction, you then start working out the strategies, like how are you going to do it? What is the cost of it? Like how are you going to purchase, and who is going to use it? Who is going to create courses? Okay, so who is going to support, and who is going to prepare materials, and what are the things that we have supporting infrastructure that we have? Because once you start an EMS, you have to keep on developing e-modules, e-videos, e-lectures. So, these development centers, e-resources development center, how strong is it? Or is it enough? Like you have 4 centers, will that be enough? Or should you add 4 more? Like what is going to be the cost? This is strategic planning. And how many of them are going to use it? If you're going to invest so much, like how many of them are going to use it? Okay, and how many of them are going to benefit? Like for one room, like we already have a room, you're not going to construct a room, soundproof stuff and a camera and a laptop and stuff, like comes to 4 lakhs. Fine. You're going to start another 4 rooms, 16 lakhs going to be invested. So how many beneficiaries? Okay, is it worth the amount that you invest? So all these things, and so you create all these facilities, you give them training. Then comes a training. Who is to be trained? Is it the staff who is going to get retired? Who is going to be trained? or is it going to be the HOD who is going to be trained, or the second person, or is it the junior most faculty, or is it the faculty with already having some ICT knowledge, okay, or all these things. And then, okay, after training, again, kind of reviewing whether just training will do, or you have to check the quality of the material that is produced. Sit together, like who are you going to invite, okay, to study the material that they have prepared, just the HOD or somebody from outside. Okay, so all these things. So for each and every work, you are going to evolve strategies. So it is always, when you talk about framing strategies for an institution, it is not framing strategies for the institution, all the strategies at the same time. You take up one particular thing, maybe this will run, in a lane. I mean, a lane is a platform is created and this is going to work. And then at another platform, simultaneously, okay, maybe you start another platform, you start another thing, and you bring in different kind of people, not the same people involved in this team. Okay, a different team, working on this particular thing, and from the scratch you start and work and work and work and innovate. Sit together, discuss, create ideas, implement, and then review, and then go in for corrections, and then go in for the next level of benchmarking. That is how strategizing functions in a educational institution. I hope the answer will do.
So thank you, sir. Next, Christian asked a question. You can hear my voice, madam?
Yeah, please. Yeah.
Mr. Christian asked one question. As per NEP 2020, student admission is like multiple entry and multiple exit. Multidisciplinary curriculum. How NAC or MBA or ISO file documents can maintain at NAC?
Okay, this is a very pertinent question, and there are many people who are worried about this idea of multiple entry and exit. Okay, so it is not materialized as of now. Okay, and but that doesn't mean it is not going to be materialized. And even there is this question of merging all the accreditation bodies into one single accreditation bodies. We have we are going to have NAC. It's not NAC or NARF or like NB, like all these bodies will be coming under one body, NAC, National Accreditation Council. That is what we're going to have in future. That's what the NEP proposes. Okay, so when NEP proposes this multiple exit and multiple entry system, and when that is going to be materialized, okay, NAC will be, the UGC or NEP will also have proposed this idea of NAC, which is NAC National Accreditation Council, which will form its own guidelines. Like the NAC manual that we have, NAC will have its own manual, and definitely it will have options for these multiple entries and multiple exits. Of course, it's going to be difficult for many of us, like maybe the students or the staff members, but we have to go through everything, right? We have to first understand things, implement things. As I told you, it's all strategies, right? And the people think this is the best strategy, and they're trying to implement it. And of course, we are going to be partners in implementation. And then we go in for a review, because all the people together, higher education institutions together with the people, drafting these policies, and they'll review, whatever has been done. And if it's right, we'll continue. And if it's wrong, we're going to go in for other setting other benchmarks, maybe another new education policy. Of course, when something is introduced, the evaluation methodology will also be changed. When the implementation policy is changed, definitely the evaluation policy will also be changed. So please don't worry, Professor. If you are going to opt for multiple entry and multiple exit as suggested by NEP, you will also have a new accreditation system that the NEP will propose. Hope I had answered convincingly to this question.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
On behalf of management of RIT and thank you, ma'am. Thank you for sharing valuable information and spending time with us. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, participants. I request the participant to fill the feedback form.
Thank you, ma'am.
The
Thank you.
feedback link will be posted in the chat box. Kindly fill it. It will enable only for 15 minutes.